What is up, guys? This is Mekkah, and today we're going to be taking a look at another Fire Emblem character guide. Last time we took a look at the official, Nintendo Power Guide for FE7. Link is in the description. And this time we're going to be doing an FE8 one, uploaded by Emperor Emblem, so thank you for uploading. If you have any paperback guides lying around somewhere, please feel free to take some pictures or scan it and upload them, because I'd love to see them. Put it in like an image or album and link them to me, because I'd love to take a look. Now, when you do this, do note that sometimes the text can be cut off a little bit, or it can be a little bit blurry. So if you want the videos to look good, then it would be nice to make sure that all the text is on there. I'll appreciate any scans I get, don't get me wrong. I'm not that big of a, quality freak or anything. But it would be nice if you could read all the text, that would be kind of nice. But I'll appreciate anything I get. So, without further ado, and without further deteriorating my voice, because I have a bit of a cold, we're gonna get into this. So, this is of course a guide that has two parts. It has a character guide, but it also has a class guide. And I'd love to do both, but if I do both, they're going to be really long. So I'm going to do both, but only one part in this video, and then the class guide will be done next time. Now in this guide, you got like all the standard stuff. So you got the character name, starting class, the chapters that they join in, both Erica and Ephraim routes, base stats. It even has like a rating for their growth rates, rating from A to E, where A is really good and E is really bad, I think. Affinity, weapon ranks. You guys noticed this last time. I pretty much didn't. I completely missed that Florian had a D rank in light magic apparently, and that Renault had like a bunch of physical weapon ranks. Feel free to note that too in the comments if you notice that kind of stuff. I was too focused on the character description because that's what we all came for, right? So let's get into that. Let's get into Amelia. Amelia, a young recruit from a small village in Grado, can be swayed to leave the enemy's side and join your party. She will be weak when you recruit her, but it is possible for her to become a powerful general, great knight, or paladin. Level her up in the Tower of Valny to unlock her potential. For a unit that gets overrated a lot, this is probably the best entry you could write for casual players who do enjoy grinding. Fire Emblem isn't really meant to be a grind-heavy game, but some people just play it that way because they're used to it from other RPGs. I think FE8 is more enjoyable if you don't grind, but for a character like Amelia, grinding is pretty much necessary for them to become, well, not a pain in the ass to use, so I don't actually mind this entry very much. What I do find annoying is the word powerful. Now right now you might not notice it, but trust me, this guide uses powerful to describe just about anything ever, so we're gonna keep track of that. This was our first powerful, the first of many. Next up is Arthur. Arthur, a young monk from RENNAC, will come into your party with the ability to use light magic. His friend, Lute, will join your party at the same time. Use Arthur's lightning attack against dark magic wielders to level them up. Like Mulder, Arthur can eventually change class to a bishop or a mage. So not sage, just a mage. So I guess he just uses a pitchfork and goes back to an unpromoted class or something. I don't get it. This should obviously be sage, without any joking around. Other than that, it looks okay. I have a bit of an issue with saying use Arthur's lightning attack, because it kind of sounds like a Pokemon move. It's really more like a tone that any light magic user can use, but that's just nitpicking. Using him against dark magic wielders is actually not the fastest way to level up Arthur, especially when you consider that early on there's almost no dark magic users. There's a couple of eyeballs, but he doesn't even one-round KO those. Almost everyone else is better at killing these because they have very low defense but pretty high resistance. And he's same against shamans, really. He just doesn't do a whole lot of damage, so it's actually better to use him against physical enemies. And later on, the guide recommends a couple of times to weaken enemies with your other characters so that your weaker characters can kill them and level them up. This would actually be a good way to raise Arthur, so I'm kind of surprised they didn't mention it here, if they were going to mention it anywhere. Other than that, an okay entry, I guess. CLERIC, so yeah, it does creature campaign characters as well, the post-game ones. And they all include the same line, which is going to be really annoying. So yeah, CLERIC. CLERIC, better known as a Tiger Eye, can be unlocked in the Tower of Valny, Lactu Ruins, or a monster skirmish after you complete the final chapter. The level 12 hero will already be a master of the sword and the axe when you recruit him. His strength will be nearly unparalleled in your party. Unparalleled. Keep in mind this is a post-game character, so most like efficient players will only have a couple characters that are really good, but like casual players will have like a party of like characters at level 10 promoted or something. So CLERIC does not look good compared to them. Like 16 strength and 13 speed is not a very strong character. He's actually weaker than average probably. His weapon ranks are good. They're not S rank though. Most of your characters should have at least, or well, should have their one S rank. So even in that regard, CLERIC is nothing special. He's not that good in the post-game. In fact, I think he's one of the weaker post-game dudes. But then again, all the post-game dudes are kind of weak, except like Leon and Reeve. But yeah, the post-game ones are all garbage. Colm. Colm the Thief, a childhood friend of Naomi's, will be a useful ally to your party. From the moment he is recruited, his ability to pick the locks of doors and treasure chests will be useful. Colm can also steal non-weapon items from enemies. Eventually, he'll become either an assassin or a rogue. That seems fine. I do think it's funny that when you recruit Colm in his joining chapter, all the chests have bio-weapons in them. It's like a javelin, a hand axe, and an iron sword or something. I always thought that was kind of funny, that the thieves in FE8 just are kind of useless. There's also a bunch of chest keys around that you can buy. Not door keys. I've mentioned this quite a lot. I hate the fact that you cannot buy door keys in FE8. So Colm is pretty useless overall as a thief, but he can steal the energy ring and stuff. It's okay. And for this beginner entry, it's completely fine, of course. Just rambling here. Cormac, a wyvern rider from Grado. Cormac is a gentleman, but a ferocious warrior. Soon, if not immediately after recruiting him to your party, Cormac will have the ability to become either a wyvern knight or a wyvern lord, making him a, wait for it, powerful addition to your group. So, yeah, pretty fine other than the already annoying powerful thing, even though it's only the second time. I don't mind this a whole lot. Note how it says there are different joining levels. You can tell from here that Erica route is listed as the B route, whereas Ephraim is listed as the A route. I don't know why they made the decision they did, but the game coding actually has it reversed. It has Erica as the default A route and Ephraim as the B route. Well, this guy switches it around. Obviously, they didn't have access to the game coding at the time, so I can't really blame them. I just thought it was a funny thing to note. But yeah, pretty fine. I like that they say that he has the option to promote almost immediately, depending on the route, of course. This guide actually kind of seems to advocate early promoting, or early leveling up, or whatever you want to call it. Dozla, this one's bad. Dozla, a berserker from Rouston and La Rochelle's devoted protector, will add some much needed axe skills to your party. Dolza, they managed to typo his name, will already be a powerful warrior when he joins. Level him up to increase his speed and luck. You'll need both as the game progresses. It's funny that they mentioned level him up to increase something, because he's a pre-promote, whereas for everyone else they don't really talk about leveling up a whole lot. And also they talk about leveling up for his speed and luck. His speed base is so bad that leveling up doesn't really do anything for him. His speed growth is only 40%, which is okay. He actually has the same growth as FE7 Bartry. So his speed is not going to increase very fast, but I can see why they said it. For luck, it makes actually 0 sense. For luck is pretty low, I will admit. He can get crit by some enemies, like I think mercenaries have crit on him. So that can be a little bit annoying, but leveling up is not the way you solve it, because his luck growth, they even show it has a D rating. It's only like 30%, it might be 35, I might be wrong, but it's not very high, I checked it. So leveling up Dozla is very slow, because his XP gain is slow, and his growth also isn't very good. So if you want his luck to be better, then you should, you know, use like a goddess icon or something, or just use a better unit, because that's not gonna help Dozla anything. And also, they didn't really talk about the fact that he has, you know, his good parts. You know, well, I guess they said he was powerful, but that doesn't really mean anything in the context of this guy. But like, look at how much HP and strength he has, or how bulky he is in general, or how heavy he is. He has 16 con. He's as heavy as Hawkeye, for crying out loud. There's a lot of talk about Dozla, but instead they focused on, well, speed is important, but luck really isn't. Dusel, also known as Obsidian, will join Ephraim's party in Chapter 10a. If you play Erica's story, Dusel will join her party alongside Ephraim in Chapter 15b. Dusel is a powerful Great Knight that will serve you well as a frontline unit. Good entry, nothing wrong with that. I think his weapon ranks might be wrong. I don't remember him having the B swords. Let me check that. Okay, I was correct. He actually has A swords. That doesn't really mean anything. He doesn't really want to use the silver sword at any point, and mostly you should be using lances and axes, but kind of a weird error to make. It's pretty easy to remember 3 A's. I don't know why they said B for swords. Erica. The elegant Princess Erica will quickly become a powerful sword wielder as you progress through the game. Level her up early on, though you won't be able to change her class until after Chapter 16. She'll be useful as a well-rounded fighter and protector. This is one of my least favorite entries here because it's so bad. First off, she does not become a powerful sword wielder because her strength is garbage and her defense is garbage. They mention her late promotion. This is actually a very big, impactful thing on Erica that makes her pretty weak overall throughout the mid game. And she's also not well rounded. Like I said, her stats are actually kind of imbalanced. She has low HP, low strength, high skill, high speed, high luck, low defense, low resistance, low constitution. And especially the description fighter and protector really doesn't fit her. If anything, other characters are the ones protecting Erica as she's like making her way towards the throne or staying alive in a route map. So not a fan of this description, not at all. Ephraim. Prince Ephraim is a brother to Erica and heir to the RENNAC throne. Ephraim has the potential to become an incredibly powerful and well-rounded unit. In this case, sure, but again, powerful. He'll change class to Great Lord and acquire Sigmund, the Sacred Twins Firelands after chapter 16. The Sacred Twins Firelands. That doesn't really read very well. Other than that, yeah, sure, Ephraim, very strong unit, very balanced as well compared to Erica especially. He's good all around. I think I like to describe him as like Raven with lances. Probably an okay way to put it. I might have mentioned Virgin Leaf, but I can't really fault them for not mentioning everything. Ewan, young pupil of Saleh, will join your party as a guide before fighting alongside the others. He is very weak when he's first recruited, understatement of the year, and must be leveled up to be useful. Ewan is the only magic wielder in the game that starts as a pupil, allowing you the opportunity to choose his path from the beginning. I would really emphasize how bad he is, but I think they did a pretty good job of it overall. Nothing really wrong with that, especially when you take grinding into account. Ewan, this is probably the best way to describe him. Actually, something that's bothering me that I noticed just now is the growth ratings are all over the place. They're really bad. So Ewan's strength rating, which I guess is the same as his magic rating, is A. And Ewan's strength rating, or his actual growth, is... let me see, I got it right here. It's 45. So you would think, alright, so they think 45 is a good growth. But then if we check out, for example, Gilliam, he also has a 45 strength growth, but his is rated as a C. So... and like, I know for a fact that this rating is supposed to reflect their growth rates because it says so at the start with like the starting stats blurb, where letters A to E to the right of each character's starting stats signify the character's likelihood to increase a particular stat when he levels up, A being the most likely and E being least likely. So I don't know what's going on here. Also, if you check some other characters, like, I don't know, Arthur, for example, his magic is 50% and he has an A. So again, kind of weird. There was another one that was kind of weird. Yeah, like Duzla, for example, he has a 50% strength growth as well, but his strength is only a B. So what the hell, guide? What is it? Like, this is completely inconsistent. It doesn't make any sense. I assume they just didn't have access to the actual growth rates, so they just kind of guessed based on their playthroughs or something, or they used every character and just kind of tallied level ups or something. Wow. If they did that, they were more dedicated than the people who just kind of guess what the growth rates are, but damn. Fado, father to Erica and Ephraim and former king of RENNAC, can be unlocked in the Tower of Valny, Lagdu Ruins, or a monster skirmish after you complete the final chapter. This part is in every single one of these entries. He comes equipped with powerful silver weapons, and also carries a master seal. His defense and ability to rescue are great. That's kind of funny that they noted the ability to rescue. He does have a massive 18 con. Unfortunately, his movement is absolute garbage, but yeah, I suppose he can do that. And his defense at 18, I suppose it's passable for a unit at base level, but in the post-game you probably have more tanky characters. In general, I'm just not a fan of the post-game characters. They're nice trophies, but they're not very good units. And his luck is also very bad, so anything with more than 11 skill is going to have crit on him, which is very annoying. Ford. Oh boy. Francis' brother, Ford, is a cavalier in the service of Prince Ephraim. He is a powerful ally. No, he's not. Shut the fuck up. With the potential to become a great knight or a paladin. When he rejoins your party in chapter 8, use him to protect weaker units, like who? Like Ewan and Ross and Amelia, and help them level up. No, just no, fuck no. I mean, using Ford to protect people is probably better than using Ford to actually fight, so I guess I'll give him props for that, but just no. Friends. You'll gain the company of friends early on in the game. Level up the valuable cavalier quickly. His low resistance won't cut it for long. Once he reaches level 10, Franz will have the ability to promote to either a great knight or a paladin. I didn't read that out properly, but you probably got what I meant anyway. His low resistance won't cut it for long. Yeah, sure, he has bad resistance, but that doesn't put like a deadline on his training. But I do, it's like they're saying if you don't train Franz this much early on, then his resistance will prevent you from training him in the future, which is just, it's not completely wrong, but it is a very dumb phrasing that I hate. So, no. But other than that, I guess this is a fine entry. I wouldn't actually recommend promoting Friends at level 10 in normal. you know, vanilla playthrough. I did it in 100% growths because he had 9 good level ups, so I could afford to. But France is the kind of unit that probably wants a couple more level ups and then promoted like level 15 or something. Garcia. Once a feared military leader, Garcia had settled in Rennes before the war began. Unlike his son, Ross, Garcia will come into your party as a valuable fighter, well, I guess they didn't say powerful fighter, that is capable of protecting your weaker party members. As he levels up, you'll have the option of changing his class to a hero or a warrior. They didn't really say much about him, but sure, good entry. Garrick, a mercenary leader from Jehana. Garrick, the Desert Tiger, will have a hero crest in his inventory when he joins your party. Hard sentence coming up. You can use it on him immediately to change his class to ranger or hero, or you can give the hero crest to another qualified unit. When I last recorded this, and then I just frustratingly deleted my recordings, I had a lot of trouble with this line, but I guess we did fine here. Yeah, Garrick is a good candidate for early promotion. I like to do it almost every time, but you can also just keep leveling up if you want. He doesn't get much out of it, but you have the option to. Good entry, let's move on. Gilliam, the dependable knight from Frelia, will join your party early in the game. His high defense makes him a good candidate to block enemies and protect weaker party members. As he levels up, he'll become almost invincible to conventional attacks and will eventually transform to a great knight or a general. You know, other than the whole Transformers thing, I'm perfectly okay with this entry. Why does he have a C rating strength though? Why? Glenn. A general in Grado's army, Glenn is better known as the Sunstone. Unlock Glenn in the Tower of Valny, Lagdu Ruin, not Ruins. It does say Ruins in the next entry, so did they not copy paste this? Did they just retype it every time? Or a monster skirmish after you complete the final chapter. Glenn joins your party with a Fetus Shield, which protects him from bow attacks. Glenn's power and ability to fly make him an excellent ally. Does it make him powerful? This entry, and like I already said I'm not a fan of the post-game entries to begin with. The thing about the Fetus Shield I think is funny because it's actually Walter who joins with the Fetus Shield and not Glenn, so they went out of their way to write about their starting inventory but didn't double check it. I just think that's silly because it's one of the easiest things to check. I actually doubted about this because I never really unlocked the post-game characters. I only got them like once or twice in my life, but even I remembered that he didn't join with a Fetus Shield. I was like, no, that doesn't make any sense, even though you never see Glenn in gameplay. So obviously if you fought Walter in the normal game, you would remember, oh, he had the Fetus Shield, but not Glenn because you never really fight Glenn. Hayden, the King of Frelia, has been a good friend to Erica and Ephraim throughout their journey. Hayden can be unlocked in the Tower of Valny, Lagdu Ruins, not Ruin, or a monster skirmish after you complete the game's final chapter. He's a powerful ranger with excellent mobility. His move is only 7, but other than that, can't really say anything. Oh, I guess I should say he is powerful. Powerful, god. Ines. I don't even know how Heroes pronounces this, but I'm gonna say Ines or Ins. I'm still unsure. Though his experience level can be as low as 1, yeah, pre-promoted level 1. The Prince of Frelia will already be a sniper, capable of using many bows when he joins your party. Powerful bow wielders can be deadly allies. Utilize Ines's unique abilities on indoor levels to take out enemies in one shot from behind walls. He can also man a ballista. This is funny, I like that they mentioned that he's level 1, but you know, it's fine because he's a pre-promoted, which makes him basically level 21 or something. Like, huh. Powerful bow wielders can be deadly allies is a funny line, I think, because bow users are generally kind of crap. Using Ines to fight people, kill them in one hit in an indoor map is kind of funny because flyers are really rare in indoor maps in general. Usually outside you see the flyers and inside you see like more infantry units. But the map after he joins on Erica routes, chapter 11, there are a couple of gargoyles that fly inside, so I can see where they got the inspiration for this line. It is a little strange, but I can't really fault them for it too much. Ismare, Queen of White Dunes, can be unlocked in the Tower of Valny, Lagdu Ruins, or a monster skirmish after you complete the final chapter. She'll join your party as a level 9 swordmaster with exceptionally high speed and skill. Use her windsword to deal powerful indirect attacks. 23 speed is above average for a character at base level again, but in post game you probably have faster characters. Same for skill. 20 is like high but not amazing for a character you unlock after the game is over. So pretty bad character overall. Windsword does not deal powerful indirect attacks at all. It actually halves her strength to a laughable 8 when she's attacking at range. It does hit on resistance, but the gap between monster defense and resistance usually isn't that high, especially on the first couple floors of the Tower of Valny. You just fight like Renevans and the other things, Whites, Bone Walkers, those kind of things. Defense resistance gap is not that high. And I don't know, it's just not a very good way to describe the wind sword. And also, anyone else can use the wind sword, so it's not really hers anyway. Joshua, a wandering swordsman with a secret. Joshua's speed and skill with the sword will make him an invaluable or valuable asset to your party. Joshua has a soft spot for Natasha. Have them support each other in battle to increase their stats. Joshua will eventually mature to a swordmaster or an assassin. Funny how they keep changing verbs for promoting. We had like Gilliam transforming, and then we had Joshua maturing, and we've had leveling up. We've had, I don't know if they used class change yet. They never said promote though. I think promote is like a fan-based, fan-invented term. So the funny thing is here, I think this is the only entry that mentions supports, and I think it's funny that they chose the Joshua and Natasha support, because I think that's one of the worst supports in the game when it comes to bonuses. Joshua has the wind affinity, as you can see here, and Natasha has ice. This is like the worst combination of bonuses possible, because it has half or none in everything you're looking for in support. When you have a support, you generally want attack, you want defense, you want avoid, and you want critical hits. Those are pretty much the best bonuses, I think. And wind ice gives none of these in full. It gives like half attack, half avoid, half all of that stuff. It gives like full crit avoid and full hit. Two things that Joshua doesn't really need and Natasha doesn't really need. So it is true that it increases their combat stats a little bit, but by the least amount possible you can get from a support. They could have chosen like Cole Naomi, for example, a support that you unlock instantly, because Naomi is pretty much forced to spend a turn next to Cole in their joining chapter, and then they support instantly. And they have like fire and light, which gives full attack, half defense, but full crit and full hit as well. And then you could also pick like Erica and Seth, which is I think what the tutorial says, the actual in-game easy mode tutorial. It's like, hey, if you keep Erica and Seth together, they build up a support, and they both have the light affinity, so full attack, full defense, full crits, and you know, just good bonuses overall, like really good. And these are trash. I can see what they were going for. They probably just couldn't think of anything to write. Noel, a royal magician from Grado, knows the secret behind the Darkstone. Noel will join your party as a level 10 shaman. Use a guiding ring to change him into a druid or a summoner. Both wield, you guessed it, powerful dark magic. Summoning was probably the most interesting thing about Noel. When I played FE8, I always think that Noel was basically locked into summoner because it's just so much better and so unique and so useful sometimes. But they didn't really want to go in depth on one of his class paths, I guess, because they always just say they have this option or that option, which I can see, so I can't really be too mad about that. He can insta promote, which they kind of mention, sort of. They kind of imply it. Didn't really say anything else. Like, obviously the fact that Noel can use powerful dark magic, it's kind of not really true. He only has a C rank in dark magic, and if he promotes, I'm pretty sure summoner at least doesn't give him a full rank, so he has to practice a little bit to even get B, let alone A or S rank to get Gleipnir. And then it's not even that great anyway, because he's just so bad at fighting. His speed is too mediocre to double. His luck is at 0, so if an enemy attacks him, he pretty much instantly dies. You really would expect a guide like this to say, Noel's luck is so bad, you better give him the Hoplon guard to avoid getting crit. That seems like something this guide would include. That's something that the FE7 guide definitely would have mentioned. They mentioned the low luck of, I think, Kent, for example. So I'm pretty surprised they didn't mention it. I don't know if this guide was made by the same people, though. So, Kyle. Kyle is a cavalier in sworn service to his homeland of Renee. Your first introduction to Kyle will be in Chapter 5X with Ephraim, and you won't see him again until Chapter 8. Kyle will level up quickly, and is a good candidate for using the Knight Crest to change his class to Paladin or Great Knight. Where did they get that he levels up quickly? He doesn't level up more quickly than anyone else. They didn't mention this for the trainees, for example, like Ewan and Amelia. They didn't say that. So why does Kyle level up quickly? Like, he doesn't level slowly, don't get me wrong. It's pretty easy to feed him kills in 5X. I just don't get why they wrote that. Nothing wrong besides that. La Rochelle. Lady La Rochelle, a staff-wielding troubadour, will join your party along with her traveling companion, the mighty Dazla. They actually didn't typo his name this time. Her ability as a healer is limited to staffs until her class change, but her resistance and luck will make her a useful ally. Well, I hope they don't imply that, they didn't mean that her resistance and luck are useful before she promotes, because she's just a sitting duck until she does promote. I also don't know why they chose these two stats in particular. Her resistance growth is only a B according to them. You would think they would focus on our really good magic growth. By the way, I noticed that La Rochelle's base magic is actually trash. Like 6 magic in Chapter 11, that's really bad, holy shit. Like, I knew La Rochelle was a bad unit, gameplay wise at least, but holy god. Also, these staffs is pretty bad. but I don't expect them to mention weapon ranks when it's inconvenient. Lutes. Lutes, the headstrong young mage from RENNAC, will offer her anima magic skills to your party, though her pride heavily outweighs her performance. What a funny line. I think some Lute fans might have issue with that. Give her the opportunity to prove herself. Lute has the ability to become a sage or a mage knight. Sure, we'll go with it. I'm not a big fan of Lute either. I mean, not a big fan of her performance. I know she's okay and she's fun to use, but she's not like a top tier unit. But that's neither here nor there. Leon. Oh god, this one is bad. Leon's spirit will live on alongside your party in battle. The childhood friend of Erica and Ephraim can be unlocked in the Tower of Valny, Lac the Ruins, or a monster skirmish after you complete the final chapter. So, only one line, well, half a line, 1.5 line I guess, that wasn't copy-pasted from the other entries. And it says Leon's spirit will live on alongside your party in battle. So it's not even like Leon just joins you in a post-game, it's like his spirits. I don't know what the canon is supposed to be behind the post-game characters, the creature campaign dudes, but this one is just, it's kind of creeps me out, to be honest. It doesn't help that they used the creepy Leon, the possessed Leon portrait, instead of the friendly one that they always see in flashbacks, and the one that shows, I think, in Ephraim, or I think it's more common in Erica's route. It changes in a final battle, I think, depending on which route you go. But that's kind of strange. And they also don't mention that is like he has an S rank in dark magic. He has the Naglfar tome, which hits really hard and is very accurate. They don't mention that his growths are trash, obviously, but I can understand why they did that. But they really said nothing about Leon's gameplay performance at all. I just find that very strange. MARISA. MARISA, the Crimson Flash, is introduced on the side of the enemy, and only Garrick can convince her to join your party. Like Joshua, MARISA has the potential to become a swordmaster or an assassin. Her high luck and speed will enable her to dodge attacks with ease. Well, if only Garrick can recruit her, then you're kind of, up the creek without a paddle in Ephraim's route, because you don't have Garrick when you see MARISA. Thankfully, you have Ewan to recruit her, or you can just beat the map without killing her, and then Ewan also recruits her in the story. But if you're going to take both routes into account, you better make sure that your data is correct here. Also, her high luck and speed will enable her to dodge attacks with ease. Yeah, if you're training her a lot, but her base level is like trash. Her base stats are trash. She only has a D sword rank, so she can't even use the killing edge. She needs a lot of training to get strong, and they don't have any trouble acknowledging this for units like the trainees, so I feel like it would be fair to mention this for MARISA. Instead they just pretend like she joins as like a pre-promoted swordmaster or something with high speed and high luck. Like, her high luck and speed will enable her to dodge attacks with ease. That's something they might say about, I don't know, Ismare or something. Mulder. A mature priest of Frelia, Mulder's healing powers will be a welcome addition to your party. Have him heal units on every round, even when it's unnecessary, to level him up faster. Once he reaches level 10, he'll be capable of changing classes to a bishop or a sage. So not a mage? Okay, we're good then. I like this entry. Having him heal every round, even when it's unnecessary, is good advice for leveling up healers. I think really new players might sometimes make the mistake of only healing when a unit is really wounded, instead of just having like an extra point of HP from leveling up. So I'm a fan of this one. This is one of the better entries so far. Honestly, I like the FE7 one better so far. Like, this one has a lot of errors. Myr. Myr can attack only with the Dragonstone, an item that will break after 50 uses and cannot be repaired. Myr will fend well against most monsters, especially in Darkling Woods. Save her Dragonstone for the last 2 chapters. She'll be an invaluable asset. A good entry overall, I suppose. I never had issues with Myr's Dragonstone breaking. New people often love emphasizing how it has 50 uses and cannot be repaired, as if you should be expecting that. She does fend well against monsters. In fact, she one-hit KOs most of them with a little bit of training. Speaking of that, save her Dragonstone for the last 2 chapters. So should we use her early on when we get her or not? The thing is, Myr joins so close to the end of the game that it's pretty hard to break her Dragonstone unless you actively try. And what they seem to be saying is level her up a little bit, and then once she's like good to go, stop using her, and then start using her again in the last 2 chapters. And that would probably mean chapter 20 and the final chapter, I guess. I don't know, I would just keep using Myr throughout. It's not like, it's pretty hard to break 50 uses over Dragonstone with a unit that doesn't double and one-hit KOs monsters. Just go all out with Myr. And if she runs out, tough luck, just use someone else. She's just really good. I think I've only had her Dragonstone break once in my entire life, and it was against the Demon King. NATASHA. NATASHA is a beautiful cleric on the run from the Grado Empire. Her magic skills are limited to the use of staves, but she can change class to either a Valkyrie or a Bishop. Leveling up Natasha will be a chore. Yes it is, good guide. Have her heal party members even when it's necessary, or even when it isn't necessary, to get her there more quickly. Yeah, same as Molder pretty much. Good that they level up, that leveling her up, but she's chore because she joins at chapter 5 at level 1. That's pretty bad. So good, let's go. Naomi. The emotional Naomi of Renee will lend her archery skills to your party early on. Though her defensive abilities are not great, she will prove her worth by attacking enemies from behind walls. Eventually, Naomi will become either a sniper or a ranger. Note that strength rating is B. She has a 45% strength growth. Apparently that means B in this context. I don't know why. Pretty much what you would expect from a sniper entry that doesn't want to bash snipers. Or archers, whatever. Obviously ranger is better, but they will never acknowledge one promotion path over another. So can't really be too mad about this one. Obviously we know that Naomi isn't worth it, but I can see what they were going for. Orson. Orson, the cavalier from Renee who betrayed his homeland, can be unlocked in the Tower of Valny, Lagdu Ruins, or a monster skirmish after you complete the final chapter. A level 13 paladin, Orson will behave much like Seth when he joins your party. So first off, again, they use the weird portrait. This is the sick Orson, I think is what it's called whenever I look up FE8 in Nightmare. When I'm like looking through portraits. This is like possessed Orson, I guess, or just mad Orson. Not the Orson that you see in, for example, the post-game. I think that's just this clean-looking portrait. He doesn't really behave much like Seth, because Seth has been roughly the same as base level Orson. Only he's much, he's had 20 chapters to level up. Orson has roughly the same base speed as Seth, for example, but Orson is level 13 in the post-game, whereas Seth had that in the prologue. So, no, he does not behave anything like Seth. If you hack the game and use like the chapter 5x Orson and make him stay in your party, he's actually roughly as good as Seth, but not this Orson. No, this one is not as good, not nearly. His luck is also very low, something that a lot of creature campaign characters have. Like Leon has it too, and Glenn has it too. So I'm not a big fan of that, and for that reason I never really use these. I just prefer to use my trained party. RENNAC, or RENNAC. I think I prefer RENNAC. RENNAC, a level 1 rogue from Carcino, will come in handy as a second unit with the ability to pick locks. When you recruit RENNAC in chapter 14a or 14b, he'll have a member card in his inventory, which will grant its carrier access to the secret shops of Magfell. It's the only way to access them. So basically this entry says nothing about RENNAC and everything about his inventory and his ability to pick locks, which, to be fair, is probably what you're doing with RENNAC anyway. Nothing really wrong with this. His fighting is garbage, but they wanted to focus on his other things. You do get other ways to get a member card later in the game, but the member card is the only way, so can't really nitpick this one. Reeve. Reeve, the evil general in Grado's army, is also known as the Blood Barrel. It will be bittersweet to use Reeve in battle due to your party's past with him, but his power as a light magic wielder will make it hard to resist. Unleash Purge for a mighty long range attack. I think he joins with a Purge, so that sort of makes sense to mention. They could have mentioned that he's good against monsters. That I think makes Reeve the best post-game character in general. His stats are also okay. Luck is like low, but not as low as the other guys, and his speed is actually decent at 19. And obviously Slayer is just really good. Slayer Purge has like a lot of uses, even if you don't want to expose Reeve on the front lines. I don't mind this entry too much. Ross. When Ross and his father, Garcia, join your party in chapter 2, Ross will be somewhat of a liability due to his low defense resistance, or his low strength, or skill, or speed, or HP. Level him up by having him strike the final blows to already weakened enemies. Yeah. Before you know it, he'll be following in his father's footsteps as a powerful unit. It's been a while. I can see why they did this. Okay, so that's pretty much how you use Ross. Yeah, you can also just chip enemies. It gets like 30 for chipping early on. It becomes a little bit less as the game goes on, but that's pretty much the way you get him to tier 1. Kind of strange they didn't mention anything about like his promotion paths. They made a big deal out of that for Amelia and Ewan, but I guess they were out of space. This is one of the longer entries. It fills all the 4 lines they have per character. Sally. Sally is a sage capable of using many different types of magic. Though he is only at level 1, his versatility as a magic wielder will be an asset. Sally has the ability to heal allies and attack enemies. He's also highly resistant to magic attacks. Funny they mentioned that, because his res is like high for a playable character, but 13 is not like spectacular, but I guess it is pretty good. I don't know. I would probably focus on I guess this is an okay entry for what you can expect. I guess magic is higher than his resistance. He is pretty hard. 14 speed doesn't sound like much, but he actually doubles almost everything. Sala is like a really good character in Erica's route, like really strong. Selena. Despite her convictions, Selena was a loyal general of Grado to the end. The powerful Mage Knight, powerful, can be unlocked in the Tower of Valny, like the Ruins or a monster skirmish after you complete the final chapter. No gameplay information at all, besides the word powerful. Love it. Seth, yes. Seth's duty to protect Princess Erica always comes first. He will be your most powerful party member for much of the game. Though it will be tempting to overuse his skills, don't get carried away. Why not? Use Seth as protection for weaker party members while they're leveling up. I know why guys give this advice, don't get me wrong. I get that you shouldn't solo every chapter with Seth if you're new to the game because you don't know what's coming up, so you prefer to level up other characters. So it's good to have a word of caution in there. But Seth is one of those few characters that can actually solo the game if you want to. So I would prefer a wording like don't only use Seth for everything. Use him as much as you would use anyone else. But that's probably a bit too overcomplicated for new players. So overall, this is probably fine. You could say that like they already said that he will be the most powerful party member for much of the game. So I can't really fault this entry. This is as good as it gets probably. B rating and strength though, lol. Like his growth rate is 45 or 50, right? Yeah, it's 50, but apparently that's not good enough for an A rank. Cyrene. Cyrene, the dutiful commander of the 3rd Battalion of Freilia's Pegasus Knights, will join your party as a, you guessed it, powerful Falcon Knight. Cyrene will be able to join the other 2 Pegasus Knights or Falcon Knights to perform a triangle attack, inflicting an automatic critical on an enemy. So, triangle attack, obviously garbage, but then again, so is Cyrene at fighting, so they had to go with something. I don't mind this entry. It's alright. It could be worse. Cyrene kind of sucks. Also C rank in C rating for strength, and it's 40% growth. So confused. Tana. Tana of Frelia will be the 2nd Pegasus Knight to join your party. Level her up and use an Elysian Web to transform her into either a Falcon Knight or a Wyvern Knight. If you make her a Falcon Knight, she may be able to perform a triangle attack with 2 other Falcon Knights or Pegasus Knights. You know, even if you make her a Wyvern Knight, she can still participate in the triangle attack, but she has to be the one initiating it. I don't think the makers of this guide knew that, so they said Falcon Knight. Also, Wyvern Knight is far better. Constitution is like a really big deal for Pegasus Knights, and since they list Constitution, I think it would have been fair to mention this. Wyvern Knight, far better. Tethys. Tethys is the only dancer in the game, and will prove to be a valuable ally. Level her up by using her dance ability, which has no cost every turn, even when it isn't necessary. Why would you need to level her up? Use a speed wing on her to increase her movement stats. She'll need to keep up with the rest of her party. Well, first of all, it's boots to increase your movement. If you use speed wings, you just get her more speed, which is a complete waste of the speed wing. And she doesn't need to keep up with the rest of your party if you just rescue chop her a bit or something. Like, I don't know, boots is pretty poor use on her. Also, movement stats, are there multiple? Really? Falter. The Crooked Falter can be unlocked in the Tower of Valny, like the Ruins or a monster skirmish after you complete the final chapter. Finally, we're done with that shit. His abilities as a powerful Wyvern Knight are unparalleled. Yeah, besides like Tana, VANESSA, Cormag, yeah. Or really, anyone. Falter's pretty shit, like 3 luck, holy shit, are you kidding me? VANESSA. VANESSA, a Pegasus Knight from Frelia, will earn her keep early on with her ability to move long distances and rescue units. Though she is weak, especially to bows, she holds the potential to be a great flying warrior. Have her attack enemy units when they are already weak to level her up. Good entry, same as Florina really, like, you gotta be careful with Pegasus Knights, gotta weaken the things for them for her to level up, and she's gonna be good later on, but you gotta train her a little bit, that's fair. I like it. She is very weak to bows, especially FE8, because you got like triple weapon effectiveness, so good entry. So they ended on a high note, but overall I think these entries were worse than the FE7 ones overall. There was a lot of things that made me scratch my head, and there was even quite a bit of like just outright wrong things, so hopefully the class guide will be better, but it probably won't be because I've already read it and it's not going to be very good. So once part 2 comes out, make sure to check that out, and if you don't want to miss it, subscribe, leave a like, all that kind of good jazz. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna drink a lot of water now. Bye.